Hey guys, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique. Today I want to talk about how you get better. Hey everybody, hope you're all having a great week so far. Miami Nationals coming up this weekend and Thanksgiving the week after that. So lots of cool, wonderful stuff to look forward to in life coming up. So really big positive times ahead, right? I will be at Miami Nationals. I don't have anybody competing, so if you guys are there, come hang out, say what's up, because I'm probably going to be a little bit bored. So we will be out there, we out here, just hanging out, man. That's what I'll be doing anyways. So come say what's up if you're out there. Let's talk about this one because I think this is a really important one to discuss, and it's definitely something that I have been dealing with a lot with some of my competitors lately, and it is get better. So I think a lot of times we have this notion of getting better and what exactly that means, and so we have to really take that into account. We have to really think about what does getting better entail. If I'm going to improve in the sport, if I'm going to improve my physique, if I'm going to do the right thing to place better or to make it to that next level, how do I do that? One of the real big things that I see a lot of people get stuck on is the number on the scale. Now, if our goal is to build muscle, that number on the scale is most likely going to have to come up. At the very least, it's going to have to stay stable and our body composition is going to improve. For a lot of people, that isn't the case. Most of my competitors try to stay on the leaner side anyways, and so we need that number to be coming up. It doesn't necessarily need to be going up at a very exponential rate. It doesn't need to be going up super quick. It doesn't need to be up like a pound, 2 pounds a week. That doesn't make sense, right? The only time that that really makes sense is if we're still super lean, we're coming out of a show, we need to put on some body fat so that we're feeling good again, hormones get back to normal, we can recover, our sleep is in order, body fat goes back to, a normal level where leptin levels are good and like hunger signaling gets back to normal, those kinds of things. That's when we probably want a little bit quicker weight gain. But if we're, 5, 6, 7 months into an off season, our body fat's back to normal, our hunger signaling's there, sleep, rest, recovery, training, all those things are back to normal and feeling good again. Well, we probably don't need to put weight on at a significant rate, especially not for a natural bodybuilder, not a natural physique athlete. It's very unlikely that we're going to be putting on just heaps and heaps of muscle super quick. Maybe if we've just started training, we'll get away with it, or we've had a long time away from training. But for a lot of us, we're seasoned competitors. We don't really take time off from training. We've been doing this for a while. We're getting diminishing returns. So it wouldn't make sense for us to be putting on weight at a substantial rate. We want to keep it pretty well in check. That being said, when we get tied to a weight range on the scale, right? We get tied to a weight range with how we feel about it, how we feel about how we look there. That can hinder our progress long term. Now, let's be real here. Do I like how I look between like around 185? Yeah. I'm still a bit over that right now. This is probably the heaviest I've ever been is where I'm maintaining right now. If I was stuck to an idea on the scale, I would still be 4 or 5 pounds leaner probably. And I have done that in the past because in the past that's what's looked good. That's what's worked for me. That's what's allowed me to, be in a manageable place mentally. Time changes things. And that's what we need to remember. We need to remember that time is going to change. And what we used to look at like at 130, hopefully in 2 years, we will look very different at 130. Or at least different at 130. Maybe not very. So maybe we used to be at 130 and that was, hey, you know what? I'm really uncomfortable. And now we're at 130 and we're like, well, I have a lot more muscle and I can lift and like I like how my shape looks. And then maybe in a couple years at 130, like, oh wow, man, I remember when I wasn't this lean and I can see this line at 130 now and I see here and I see like different things. And so as we improve our body composition, as we add muscle over time, that's going to change. We need to be open and available to understand that the weight on the scale is not, it's not always going to be a set, this is where we need to be. If you're putting on lean body mass, if you're keeping lean body mass while you diet, right? those things are going to change. That number will not stay stagnant. And let's be real, if that number stays stagnant as a physique athlete, that might not be the best thing unless we're just perfect as we are. So we want to keep that in our minds. We want to take that into account because we want to get better. Being able to assess what is going to make us better is very, very important. Do we need to be leaner? Maybe not. Some people come in, their conditioning is right on. Some people come in, and especially for bikini, right? Maybe they're like bringing out a lot of hamstring separation. Maybe they're bringing out a lot of glute striation, shoulder striations. Maybe we're doing the things that are putting us towards that too lean category, right? So it's not about being leaner. It's about being better. And being better can be a mixture of a bunch of things. It can be being more muscular. It can be better posing. It can be better presentation. Making sure that we're working on the small things that go unseen. Stress management, sleep, those kinds of things. Maybe better peaking. All those things can help us to be better. However, if we get stuck on something like this scale, it can most certainly prevent us from continuing to get better. And this is really what my point was about today, guys. The scale is important. Yes, it's an indicator of progress. Yes, it is one piece of data on the spreadsheet. Yes, absolutely. And we don't want to let it go. We don't want to act like it doesn't fucking matter, because it does. And I think most of us would agree that it matters. Some of us, it matters much more so than others, and that's a completely different topic for a completely different time. But we don't want to allow that to be our only data point, our only piece of information, the only thing that we look at and the only thing that we're, just latching on to. Because when we get stuck on one simple piece of data, we can definitely lose the bigger picture of all the other data that's out there as well for us. So I want to encourage you guys, try not to get too emotionally attached to the one number on the scale with how you feel. Remember, it's about getting better, and sometimes getting better means getting a little bit out of your comfort zone. So I will leave it there, guys. Hopefully I'll see some of you in Miami. Have a wonderful rest of the week.